Hi, I'm Empress Rose, and this is The World, the final deck of the Major Arcana, card number 21. So, and it's fitting that it's the final because that's what it means. It means the final, it means ending. And some of these endings we completed and we did something and it's over and it's ended, and some of them it's just ended, it's just time. So the gist of it is the end, completion, the cosmic order of things as far as like forces greater than yourself, maybe bringing something to completion and having come full circle. We'll see the circle repeated throughout most of these cards as far as like something coming back to the beginning. So we have here on our Kabbalah Tree of Life, here it is, Kingdom. It's over. So we may have had a great idea and we may have like pinged through a few spots and then it goes down through here. So if we're looking at our pinball machine, this is right through the flippers. There's no flipping. We can flip this moon, we can rethink, we can judge, we can redo all we want or want to. We can want to redo, we can press these flippers, but that pinball is going straight out and we know it. The exit. This is the exit. So this is the baby is born, the road trip's completely over, the car is totally unpacked. It's over. We either accomplished something, did something, or it's just we halfway did it and now it's just time to move on. It's just over. So we're coming out here. The world card sits right here. So it does have a sense with the Kabbalah of having created something, having finished the completion, and now we're totally done. Now it's completely done here. So this is, you know, in the line of part of the co-creation process. So a lot of times we can look at this card as we succeeded in our co-creation, we're done, we're finished, we completed the project, we completed the paper, there's no do-overs, you can't go back and correct stuff more. That'd be more around in the judgment side here, like being able to wrap that experience back up here and redo something. There's no more chances. What's done is done and what's over is over. So we came to this universe to co-create here with the universe, and we did. And did it turn out exactly the way we thought? Nah, probably not exactly the way we thought, because we're co-creators. We're not total creators. We don't just, you know, deliver by fiat. We say it and it's exactly the way we thought. No, we're working with life, with other things. So there were some shifts, some turns, some crazy experiences up here, but the whole thing's done. We are graduating. We're done with the class completely. We're done. Something's ending. So the whole life cycle is completed. So remember, we had the sun with those sunflowers. Here are the seeds. The sunflower goes to seed. It's successful. We've completed something. Here the seeds basically drop to the ground. The sunflower itself is no longer useful. We can get that out of the way. Seed is ready for spring. So and nothing's going to stop this ending either. That's I guess where I get the sensation of it's the cosmic order. Nothing can stop the ending, and it may be completely fulfilled, it may be exactly what you wanted, it may be very different than what you wanted, but nothing's going to be able to stop this. It's part of the divine plan. Once it's done, it's done. So, and you know, and maybe the cake didn't turn out exactly how you wanted it to, but it's out of the oven and it's over. You can't put it back in the oven and rebake it. I mean, you can if you're quick enough, but you can't go put it back in the oven and rebake it. How it turned out is how it turned out. Your paper, your gymnastics routine, your road trip, it's done. It's done. And you can either, you know, let it go, leave it in the past. You can either get ready for a new adventure in whatever aspect of your life this is, or you can rest for a minute in this sort of doneness. So let the cake rest before you start baking a new one. So yeah, it's gone to seed. The life cycle is complete and we're starting over again. That butterfly lays eggs that then hatch and become, I think it's eggs. Hatch, yeah, it's eggs, right? And then that hatch and become, suddenly doubting basic knowledge and information here, that hatch and become the caterpillars that go through this whole transformative process. And, you know, the life cycle is complete. It's winter. The buds are set on the on the twigs, ready for spring. We're ready for spring. We're ready for the next adventure to hit. And this one's definitely over. The season's over. The year's over. It's December 31st. It's the last day of the year. It's midnight, basically. And we're starting a new year. Or maybe we're passing out for a few hours and then we'll start the new year. It's your birthday. You've done a trip around, the world. The world's gone around the sun for one whole year, and we're right back where you started. So there's a sense of being right back where you started. So that can be psychological, that can be project-wise, whatever, being right back where you started, but you're different, you're changed. You've had this whole adventure, you're a new creature. So to me, the world really encapsulates sort of that spiral idea of we're right back where we started, but we've grown, hopefully, we've learned that Judgment card could maybe bump us out to the next spiral. So we're hitting a growth cycle here. So you've been through some sort of whole growth cycle. You may be at a spot that's very familiar to you that you come back to, your birthday. Every year, you're grown, you're a year older, you're different. You can't help it. That's just the way it is. You are going to be a year older. So there's a sense of the cosmic order of things, and force is bigger than you, right? You can hit that same spot again, but it's not the same spot again at all. And you can't stop the passage of time, right? So I often see also, I think one of these cards has it like an hourglass, and it's that last grain of sand coming through the hourglass. Are we going to flip it right away? Or are we going to sit here and just rest for a minute before we get those sands going through again? So it's that last thing of sand in the hourglass, and nobody's going to be able to stop it. It's slipping through. So force is bigger than you, endings, cycles completing, and sometimes it's because you co-created and you actually did it, you got there. A lot of these cards are going to have that celebratory feel. And then I think there's just one other card that really hits the like this, it's the passage of time. We end up at the same place, no matter what. And hopefully we've grown, and hopefully it's not exactly the same place. So Rider-Waite-Smith deck has this sort of unbreakable garland, and I feel like this is like it moves, it's the passage of time. Here we have these guardians, these cosmic guardians represented here. If you've accomplished and achieved something, it's because the divine saw it and wanted it so. It's because it's been protected. So we have this sort of garden, this protected space in which we've grown something, in which we've grown our sunflowers, in which they've gone to seed. It has been protected. So whatever you've accomplished, to me this card comes with a sense of humility. Whatever you've accomplished, it's because the universe saw fit to have that be accomplished. It's because it was protected. It was protected by a force outside yourself. So maybe you did stuff and you did a lot, but when something can come to fruition like this, there's a lot of there's a cosmic source to it. So that's again getting this like sense of forces outside yourself that are greater than us, whether it be the planets, whether it be the orbit, whether it be the divine, protecting us and helping us move through this space, whether we can see them or acknowledge them or not. And so there's just this sort of eternal vibe here, and these sort of red ties, these root chakra ties of eternity here, making the infinity sign here. Round and round and round we go until we're done, right? So this is a good card as far as interpretations are concerned. It does, Rider-Waite-Smith specifies that success is assured, completion of what you're wanting is assured. Of course, it may not be assured in the exact format that you originally saw it as, but success is assured, completion. It can also talk about travel, right? Traveling the world, seeing other things, flight, leaving something behind, but that's because it's completed. We're moving on because something's done over here. So the success is the will of the divine. It was aligned with the divine will. That's why you were successful. That's why you were able to complete it. So this can come in as a really beautiful sign, especially if you're at the beginning of a project, that you are going to have help, that this project will be protected, this relationship will be protected, this relationship will be successful. This pregnancy has a good chance of being viable and producing something that you wanted. Exactly what you wanted? Probably not. No parent gets exactly. Well, you get exactly what you want if you want whatever you're going to get. So the golden tarot here, again, we have this protected space. We have a sanctuary. And here you are. This might be like summer camp or like the vacation Bible school or whatever. You know, you went here as a kid and now you're coming back as the mentor because you've been around enough. You've done enough cycles that now you're part of the protector. You're part of the teacher. You have completed the cycle and now you can be the mentor. Now you can be the teacher. Like you completed the class and now you can be the tutor to someone else to complete the class. And again, we have this divine protection, these actors of divine protection surrounding you. We have a literal sanctuary here, and we have like a teacher. And this teacher, this Sunday school teacher, she's been through the curriculum multiple times, right? The curriculum, the lessons, the experiences, the learning. Ram Dass always calls it the curriculum. She's been through the curriculum multiple times. This is now you. You've been through the curriculum. Now you are the grown-up. Now you are the one that can guide and teach and join these guides in helping, protecting, and bringing something to fruition because you've learned everything you need to learn. You've been through the whole experience. You've been through the whole curriculum. You've taken the classes, and now you do have something to give. You have some sort of expertise here and some sort of ability to give from that expertise. You have some truth here, and you've leveled up. It's inevitable. You keep going, you keep learning, you level up. So, and then in this one, the Apparition deck, again, we have the circle represented, and we have all of creation here, this representing all of creation and how you are part of the creation. You're a co-creator. You're with all of these. You too have created. You too have taken part in this creation. You have created. There's a sense of wholeness here. The circle is talking about the whole of creation, everything, being part of the whole. And it reminds me of the Rumi quote, you are not a drop in the ocean, you are the entire ocean in a drop. So that co-creator, that divine being within you as well, that creation vibe, that need to create, being within you and you being part of the whole. The Muse, we have this, she's wearing a swimming suit, but I always see birthday suit, which we know this is not a birthday suit, but it's swimsuit. She's here, she's in the flow of things. And I like how there's like grids present and sort of this creation and vibration available here. Tying up loose ends again. This one, the book talks about travel as well, you know, having sort of the whole globe on your mind, in your mind's eye, wanting to travel perhaps, but it's the whole, including the divine, in the flow. This one also comes with a reminder to enjoy your accomplishments, and there's a peace here, there's a stillness here. We've created it, we've done it, and here we are. We're standing in the flow. We were able to create, co-create. And there's a sense of celebration. I love this one from Santa Muerte. This one's very explicit. We have our hourglass here, right? Time's up. Time's up for this. It's over. I like that we have a card where it's over. Like a lot of the more minor arcana cards, the 10s are going to be where we're at with the endings there, an end of a difficult cycle, an end of a great cycle, an end of, right, the 10 of swords, the 10 of wands, all of those 10s are ends of cycles. And 10 of cups I always see as an end of a cycle as well. Like something's as happy as it can get. It doesn't get happier than this. And 10 of Pentacles as well. So completion of something, right? 10 of Pentacles is often our inheritance card, where we've achieved, we've gotten whatever's been able to be earned out of the situation has been earned, and now it's time to enjoy that. So, but those to me often about cycles or repetitions. Those are like the ends of the chapter. This is the end of the book. So I like that the tarot gives us an opportunity to have that sort of message of finality. Again, you know, taking it under advisement, trust but verify, your intuitions and these communications. It's something to consider that this could be an actual real end. And I think that's really important so that we can close out chapters of our life and not keep sort of backwashing or backflowing, you know, like locks shutting down. And here's the whole like canal. We finished the canal, and we're not going to be going back unless we like turn around and go back. But these locks ending so that we can keep moving forward with our lives. So I think it's really cool that the tarot does have, you know, this big ending card here. So we do have, she's as a bride here. So this is something that you've been devoted to, you've been working on. You haven't just, this wasn't just a snap of the fingers and make it so, here we go, here's my genie. This is something you've worked on. And then we have the scythe here about we're going to be harvesting something that we've devoted a lot of time to and that we're working on. And we're here to complete the cycle, to finish this off. And I do love that this one actually does have the hourglass of that last little bit coming through. Time's up, cycle completed. We're harvesting, this year's harvest is in. The year is over, the year is completed. So, and that's, you know, the whole orbit around the sun, the year is completed. So, and I think, oh yeah, and then here's the world too. Again, we're talking about this completion, this wholeness. You know, she is whole, but we are talking about the orbits. So the orbits are like a cycle completing, but also there's something about these orbits that we don't have any control over or any say over. So some part of this, especially with this card and this depiction of this card, talks about the cosmic order of things. And sometimes the cosmos comes in to end something, whether we successfully completed it, whether we've been successful or not. It's the ending. So depending on where this shows up in the reading, if it's earlier on, I would say it's a very promising sign. If it's later on, we're talking about either a completion of any kind, either successful or unsuccessful. Most of these are talking about successful completion, but I do think this card can talk about just forces. It's time for this to be over. You know, time's up, basically. It's like the perfection game. You know, timer goes off, time's up. You know, whether this cake's baked or not, you still have to leave, so you have to take it out of the oven, whether it's baked or not. So you get what you get here. And I do see this one embodying more of a sense of larger cosmic processes. That maybe, you know, a lot of these talk about like, you did it, you completed, but sometimes there's a completion that we didn't necessarily, where it's not necessarily perfect. You know, the due date's here. You have to turn the assignment in, whether it's perfect or not. You finish the class ends at a certain date, whether you handed in all your work or not. There's not a do-over here, right? We're leaving this adventure, whether we got a bunch of points or not, whether we got what we wanted, there's an ending here. So that's more how I see the world card. There is a sense of completion, but what kind of completion? Like the class is completed, or did you complete all of the work? So some of these cards pull more out of like, you completed all the work, yay. And some of these cards pull more out of like, the class is over, it's completed, the grades are in, there's nothing more that you can do about this other than retake the class. And then you know, the world card talks to me about like, you can't cross the same river twice because the river's different, the water's different, the shape of the river's different, you're different. You can't redo it. You can't go back and do this over again. So the door is closed. There's a finality here. This door's shut. Once you're born, you can't go crawling back into your mom. You're born, you're out here. You can't go back, you know, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Kind of thing. So there's completion in, so there's two types of completion that these different decks are playing with. And one is you did it, you finished the assignment, or you finished this. And the other is, well, the class is over, whether you finished it or not. I don't know what you were doing the whole time, but it's time for it to be done. So then we have the world card here with the ForHaxa. coming to an end, a beautiful celebration and letting go. So I feel like this is like letting go of those assignments you didn't do. Don't keep harassing yourself about how you should have done that or you should have done that better or whatever. You got to let the whole thing go because it is completed. So whatever is beautiful about this moment, let it be beautiful, let it be a celebration. Whatever else you need to let go of it, because there's no going back. You can't go back and redo stuff here. You know, the pinball is leaving the machine, right? We've had all the opportunities we had, and maybe we didn't even have any opportunities. Sometimes a pinball game can go like that, to like redo stuff and revisit places and all of that. It's leaving the machine. And whatever happened, happened. Whatever points you got, you got. Whatever adventures you had and side quests and pings over here, they're all done. The whole game is over. We're resetting for another game, so if you want to play again, that's cool, but this one's done. So letting go, I think that there's a beautiful letting go of what you could have done, coulda, woulda, shouldas, letting all of that go, and just having this finality of like, this is over. So celebrate what you can. You know, you never have to do this class again. It's over, and let go of what you can't. So we had a little sign in my bathroom growing up, do your best and flush the rest. And that's what this is. Like, it's time for this to be over. Enjoy the success. Also, you know, whatever successes you are enjoying, however, enjoy the successes that you do have, that you have gotten out of this, because they can carry you forward and give you momentum going forward, right? And then we have Guardians of the Night. We have this bee finishing up his business, his job here, to vomit his bee vomit into his little honey pot here. So we've filled it. We've fulfilled this mission as much as we were required to, as much as we could, as well as we could. We have fulfilled the mission, and it's time to move on to the next, filling the next honey pot. And so then we have the grasshopper here, poised for a new leap of faith, poised for that new Fool card and leaping into the future. And getting that energy from this moment. So again, a very celebratory, very similar. Actually, this is the same artist. So a lot of light, a lot of beautiful, a lot of glowing, a lot of beauty here, a lot of celebration about what's been accomplished. Something has been accomplished and it's completed. So. And then I wasn't going to include this one from the Good Tarot. Good Tarot sometimes for me is pretty basic. So we have the World card here, but to me this talks about, I wanted to include it because it is more about like the completed cycles, right? We live in a universe of cycles, in a universe of cycles and very orderly in a lot of ways, very orderly rotations and cycles. So we live in this universe of orbits and cycles, and even within the orbits there are other orbits, and there are spins and other cycles, like our 24-hour cycle and the moon cycle and the sun cycle, which is a year. Like, we have all of these interlocking cycles going on. So this one does talk about, I feel like, those forces outside ourselves that can sometimes bring something to completion, whether we did everything we wanted to, whether we got everywhere, whether we, you know, if we were on our road trip, whether we visited all the places we wanted to visit this time, whether we did it exactly the way we wanted to. The road trip might be curtailed very early on by some sort of crisis or something happening, or we may get to complete the whole road trip. Either way, whether the road trip ends towards the beginning of the plan or you know, we get a bonus road trip at the end, both of those are called completion. The road trip's over, it's completed. Whether we have a crisis and we have to go home in what we thought was going to be the middle of it, it's actually the end of it. So this is the completion, cycles outside of our control, larger cycles also. Not just that we're in charge of the completion of things, but that there are forces outside ourselves about the completion. So I think the World card in a nutshell is completion, we're ready or not, and hopefully you are ready for it, but it is. And whatever else needs to be let go, it's time to let go of that, because something's very much over, including this series. So thank you so much for joining me over here. Hopefully these are useful to you. My idea was that as you're doing your own readings at home, that this can enhance those and enhance your home readings and what cards you're drawing today for yourself, and as a resource for you to use, and yeah, build your own practice. So thank you for joining me.